money is useless. I said, huh? He's like, money is useless until it is used. You don't need money, dude. You need people. He's like, people have the next money you want, right? I don't want money, I want freedom. I mean, I'm impressed with myself. I'm like, God damn, you did this. So I'm at a point in my life right now, I get on that jet, I'm like, dude, you did this, you know? Like, this is real. So it's just, it's like, wow, man, your life's working, dude. You turned your life around. You started making money. I had nothing. You made your first dollar. And then I've done this thing coming from nothing to where I'm at. And it just, to me, it's not just about me either. It's a real sign of what people can do. Like, it's so inspirational to me. People need to be taught how to properly market and promote. You and I were talking before we started here, right? You're missing on the promotion thing and the marketing thing. And that's tied to money, right? Because I'm like, if I'm not willing to spend money, if all I'm doing is saving all my money and I'm not willing to use money, the conditioning around the house here is even more severe than the US.
Okay, and explain that.
To buy a house.
To buy a house. So
like you guys buying houses, it's dumb. You shouldn't put money in a house, you should put money in your brand. You should put money in the marketing. You should promote yourself, not put money in where you and the kids live. Because it's dead money. I mean, it can't, a house can't make you money. A house does not make you money. The only reason people think a house makes them money is they're comparing it to, if I rent, that costs me money. But, you know, if you need to go to a hospital, you don't buy the hospital. You rent a bed to get out of there as fast as you can. If you go on a trip, you go to America and you want to go to Disneyland, you don't buy the hotel, you rent a room. And nobody thinks poorly of that. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go there, use the place and get out. That's what you should be doing with your living. Find a place where you can rent, pay rent monthly. Don't own the house. And take all the money that you would have put in that house purchase, down payment, extra money, fixing it up. Use all that money to improve your business and yourself so that you can get more money. So I see so many people here like, I'm gonna invest 300,000 pounds in a house to hopefully make $30,000. Right. I'm gonna buy it for 300. Maybe I'll sell it for 600,000. I'll double my money. Fixed in one place, by the way, where no money comes to you. Money does not go to home. I've moved 5 or 6 times. I can move another 4 or 5 times. If you study wealthy people, they're mercurial. They're moving. They're mobile. They're not talking. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates do not talk about the home they live in. They talk about the places they're going to. They go meet money. They go meet wealth. They go meet connections. And those guys, even at the top of the food chain, at the very top of the food chain. See, my dad believed in buying a house. Okay, Warren Buffett does not. My dad's my dad. Grateful he did his thing so that I could be born, right? But if I'm going to study one of those two guys, I'm studying Warren Buffett. And even it's not, the enlightened thing is an idea, but the reality is banks are great promoters. And bankers years ago had all this money. They print money. Banks are capitalists. They're not entrepreneurs. There is no product to sell. I don't get a product. So what happens with the banker is the banker's like, hey, we have all this money. We need to get the money to people. And they'll pay us to let them have money. But the problem is they didn't have a product. So they sit down in a boardroom with some bourbon and they're like, what idea can we come up with? We need a promotional guy. We need a marketing guy to come in. Okay, and they're like, how do we get people to actually borrow money from us? Oh, you guys need a product. So they said, why don't we get them, what would be the ideal product? The ideal product would be, Charlie would give me money for a product that he would stay in for a long period of time. That would be ideal. 2, there would be some idea that one day he could profit from it. 3, he would fix in it the location and not move. So he'd have to pay us for 30 years. That would be a nice period of time. What could that be? A place to live. That's not water, it's not food, that you do that every day. A place to live would be something substantial enough. It'd be a big purchase, 200,000 or 300,000 pounds or $200,000 or $300,000, and we could lend somebody money. By the way, there would be collateral of that property. This would be a good deal. Yeah. We should call it a house. We'll call it a place to live. Everybody deserves a place to live. And another guy's having another sip and he's like, no, it's a dream. This is the dream. In America, it's the American dream. Okay, over here it's probably everyone deserves a place to live. And other people say, oh, this is a way to make money. It's not a way to make money, it's a way to bank to make money. Banks have made more money off of homes than anybody in the game. They've done it with schools. higher education.
Yeah.
Notice the terminology too. Higher education.
Great marketing.
You know, $1.3 trillion in debt just in the U.S. on higher education. I have never been asked about it. I have the higher education, and I've never been asked about it in a deal. Okay, I'm buying $500 million worth of deals right now, and I'm gonna have $270 million worth of debt on them, and nobody's asked me about my higher education. My daughters would have I will pay for 3 or 4 universities, names, the top. So whatever those top 3 or 4 are at the time, I'll give them that choice. You can go to these 3 or 4, and then I will have a little footnote to it. Don't worry about what you learn there, only go there to meet people. I wanna know where the Obamas are going, where the Bushes are going, where the Charleses are going. You know, I wanna know where the Blackstones are sending their kids or their grandkids. And that's the only place I would pay for my kids to go to school.
But most of America and the world shouldn't pay for that education.
Absolutely not.
Okay, and the same with they shouldn't buy a house.
Absolutely shouldn't buy a house.
Okay.
Nobody should buy a house. The super rich shouldn't even buy houses. Buy a plane, man. Buy a jet that can get you to go places. I'm not bragging when I say I'm doing this. Hopefully people find this inspirational and they don't think that I'm just an arrogant, cocky, listen to him bragging about his jet. I'm just telling you, like, you don't get that much money by being stupid with money. So I'm sitting here saying, do I do this or do I do the jet? It's not like I'm thoughtful when it comes to money. Do I put the $50 million in apartments, which is my favorite investment, or do I buy the jet? And my decision to get rid of 50, to own the jet, is that it can connect me with the world. It can help me meet people. The old Grant would not have done this. I wasn't thinking big enough. I was thinking that if I save my money, that if I'm just save the pennies, you know, save the money, pay attention to the money, clip the coupons, do everything on the cheap, right? Buy everything on sale, buy low and sell high. All that old adage of our parents.
Scarcity mentality.
Totally.
Okay.
If I do that, then I'll be better off. And the reality is, if you study the wealthiest, I don't mean Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. I mean, if you study Goldman Sachs, that's where the real wealth is.
Okay.
Study the wealthiest. You're talking about Vanguard controls $5 trillion of ETFs. That's money. There's endless amounts of money. Like, I don't know what the Queen controls, but it's freaking massive.
Massive.
Or the Putin money. You're not talking about all that dark money, all the black in the shadows money. So there's so much money on this planet. You got to look at, how does Coca-Cola make a decision about 3 or 4 or 5 jets? Because they want to move their executives around the world to make sure they have their products in the front of the shelves. So that's how I made a decision to do this. Not based on what 98% of the people think, but what 1 or 2% of the population thinks. Like, I asked my accountant, he says, don't do it, doesn't work. I asked my lawyer, don't do it, it's a liability. I asked a couple of rich people, don't do it, it doesn't make sense. I asked a billionaire, he's like, yeah, you should definitely do it. And I said, huh? He's like, you should definitely do it. You have clients all over the world. You want to reach 7 billion people. Money is useless. I said, huh? He's like, money is useless until it is used. Right? You don't need money, dude. You need people. He's like, people have the next money you want.
Right. Strangers.
And I was like, this was mind-boggling for me. Like it just, you see, when truth hits me, I don't fight it. Like I'm just like, okay, that's real for me. That's real for me. Go with it. Lean into it now. At 60 years old, you start saying, hey, I'm running out of time here. I got to start making decisions quicker. So if I've been living 50 years, grinding, working, struggling, saving, and that didn't get me where I wanted to be, right? I don't want money, I want freedom. And the plane buys me freedom. You know, when we land in an airport now, everybody wants to know, whose jet is that, dude? Like, it is a flying promotional. Now, anybody listening right now is like, I can't go buy a jet. Yeah, but you don't have to buy a house either. And you're never gonna get a jet if you keep putting your money in things where money don't go. And again, I'm not trying to impress people by that. I'm just saying that is a symbol. Symbols are very important. Castles, they're important. They're validation. We're on a planet that is full of fakeness. Social media, cars.
Right.
You can fake a Rolls. You can't fake a castle. There's power there. The bigger the castle, the more power was accumulated over periods of time, whether they stole it, earned it. Even if you stole it, you still got to keep it. Keeping something is, most people can't keep it. Almost everybody can get it. Most people cannot keep it. And almost no one can multiply it. So the game is, how do I get it? How do I keep it? How do I fortify it? How do I support it? How do you keep making this thing bigger and bigger and protecting it? Again, a lot of people can get it, but can you keep it? And then can you make it bigger? That means people. I need good people. I need more ideas. I need more production. I need to not get complacent. So that's who I study today. I study people that are multiplying what they've already created, not talking about what they did and now they're not doing it anymore. Biggest realization after having the jet. I mean, it is without a doubt the number one thing that when I get on it, I'm impressed every time. I mean, I'm impressed with myself. I'm like, God damn, you did this. And so that's a cool deal. You know, like most of my life, as you know, has been lots of losses, the drug addiction, you know, the years. You know, when you have an addiction, it's not a moment. Addictions don't happen in a weekend. I'm not talking about doing something dumb over the weekend. I'm talking addictions come for long periods of time. So I'm at a point in my life right now, when I get on that jet, I'm like, dude, you did this, you know? Like this is real. And it goes back to that castle mentality. It goes back to like, it's not like getting in a Rolls. You know, I can lease a Rolls, give it back in 2 years, make the payments. This piece of equipment that I own and have my name on, you can't put a name on a charter. So it's just it's like, wow, man, your life's working, dude. You know, you turned your life around. You started making money. I had nothing. You made your first dollar, and then you made your second dollar. I remember making my first, when I went from $3,000 to $4,000 a month. That $1,000 increase was the biggest money I ever made in my whole life. Still the most important money I've ever made. I wish I still had that $1,000. Okay. And then I've done this thing coming from nothing to where I'm at, and it's to me, it's not just about me either. It's a real sign of what people can do. Like, it's so inspirational to me.